You mentioned the materialists and the atheists. Do you ever worry that the world is kind of going more that way, and that sometimes that results in a lot of fighting and tribalism and sometimes neglect of the environment and a lack of, spirituality? Do you ever think that we're not going to be able to come back from that? Does that concern you? Is that why you're writing books like this?
Well, I think that the fact that we live in a modern world which is very secular, and the default position of most universities and the educational system is atheism. It's the assumption God doesn't exist, or if God does exist, then it's only as an idea in people's minds, and belief in God and religion should at best be kind of private hobbies that have no effect on the wider world, which is about getting on with economic growth, making products, selling products, consuming products. That's the general modern model of the economy that the educational system reinforces. And it wasn't like that in the Middle Ages. I mean, all educational institutions were based on God. They were religious institutions. But they've been progressively secularized, and now the default position of anyone who's got a university degree is to emerge from a university with a kind of secularist, if not atheist, then at least agnostic view. I mean, so I think the problem with that is, first of all, it misses out a vast dimension of reality, which I think is really there. There's realms of consciousness beyond the human level. Secondly, I think by cutting people off from what all human beings have had, hunter-gatherer societies, shamanic societies, religions, there's never been a situation where the majority of people, which is now the case in Britain, have no religion. It's been a part of people's lives all through history. And it's given people, in moments of challenge and sorrow and joy, the sense that they're part of something bigger than themselves, which has enabled them to cope with life better. It's also provided moral codes that have helped people. It's also provided a sense of meaning and connection with society and with nature through seasonal festivals and through collective celebrations and through rituals. Now, in the modern world, as a result of secularization, atheist propaganda, proselytizing atheism, and so on, the relentless attack on all religion has meant it's shrunk down to a very small activity. In about 5% of people in Britain regularly have religious practices. 51% say they have no religion. That's last year's surveys.
Is that dangerous?
Well, I think it's a deprivation. I think it means that people have cut themselves off from a vital spiritual and conscious link, which is necessary for our well-being. And there's now been many studies on spiritual practices that show that those who have religious and spiritual practices, generally speaking, are happier, healthier, and live longer than those that don't. And if you don't have them, you feel more isolated, disconnected, that life's more meaningless, purposeless. And it's depressing. And that's, I think, why depression is the endemic disease of modern industrial societies. So I think it's bad for health. I think it's, just to take the most basic level, it's bad for social cohesion, because if everyone thinks there's nothing that really links us together, it's just everyone for themselves, that's not a good model for any society.